Yo, Eric Davis, let's chop it up, man. You know what it is. You hope everybody's having a great holiday. Hope you have taken some time out to enjoy your loved ones. Hope you've taken some time out not to eat too much, enjoy the games. You're getting ready for that Black Friday shopping. So we just wanted to come on, man, talk about some things that I've been thinking about and been pondering on and needed to get out. So these last, few weeks, we've been dealing with a lot. Not all bad, not bad at all. Just dealing with life and the different changes and learning about myself and how I handle situations and how I can afford to let some things go, that something that may not be for me, to let it go, and whatever's going to be is going to be. All right. It is really like that. All right. It's really like that. So I want to get caught up in always having to have an answer for everything. Not always having to explain yourself for everything. When you know who you are and the value that you have and what you possess and what you bring to the table, that's all it needs to be said. When you value yourself, man, you understand who you are and you know the gifts that you've been given and you know your weaknesses. You know the things you need to work on. All right. So a lot of that is you be honest with yourself and understanding the things that you need to work on. All right. Work on those things and get better. All right. So you can be better, do better, and achieve more. But you got to be willing to understand, willing to make yourself available to have an open mind. I had a thought today. I'm always open to learn. All right, I'm always open to be coached. I don't think we ever get to that point where we're not able to be coached. We're not able to learn from someone else. One of my things is who I'm learning from. All right, so that's just something I got to deal with. And I think we all have that in us in some form or fashion. All right, some form of fashion, we've got that in us, and we need to make sure making ourselves available. A lot of times we can't look at the messenger, but just listen to the message. That's something we were taught years ago. We get caught up in looking at the messenger and not the message. A lot of times it's the presentation that is given is where we don't accept it. All right, so we got to make sure that we keep our minds open to understand, keep our ears open to listen, and not just hear, but listen. All right, there's a difference. You're listening for the sound, all right? You hear a lot of things, but you're listening for a sound. Then when you hear it, you know it, all right? Don't be so short to fall for anything that comes your way. People talk a lot. They talk a good game. They'll talk a good game, and they try to double talk you if you're not careful. Cats try to slick talk you. You'll get caught up in the rhetoric, but you won't hear what they're really saying. Got to make sure that we listen for that we be mindful and wise about that situation, about those things. A couple other things, you got to make sure that we take the time out to invest in ourselves, invest in you. Got to have some things that are pouring into you, people that are pouring into you, whatever phase you're in, whatever area you're in. You got to have some people that you trust to pour into you. And that's key, that you trust to pour into you. Don't let everybody speak into you. Listen, you ain't got time for that. All right, you ain't got time for that. Some people you don't want speaking into you. Some people you don't, you're not going to take it. You're going to take everything with a grain of salt. So you got to make sure that we are making ourselves available to receive what's best for us. Fellas, I'm telling you, you got to make the time, to make sure that you're getting poured into someone that you trust. We all need mentors. We all need people to feed, to bounce things off of. We need to be able to listen to other people. We come to a place in this walk in our life that we make sure that we do the necessary things that are going to help us survive. All right. Never know what's coming around the corner. All right. And you want to make sure that you're prepared for whatever way. I was in a meeting the other day. Someone said, just ask to see the things you need to work on. And I thought about it. Well, I know the things I need to work on. All right. I know the things I need to work on. And so that's part of me understanding and knowing who I am and my strengths and my weaknesses. You got to get to a place where those things don't allow you to falter, don't allow you to be hindered. You got to understand there's value in you. All right. There's value in you. All right. To be sure of the value that's in you. You need to make sure that you know who you are. You know the value that you have. You know the price tag that's set on you, if I can say it like that. All right. So let's make sure, man, that we are being better for it. And listen, I was thinking about this, the holiday season, and we're being thankful. and we're appreciating Thanksgiving, and we're with our loved ones, and we are enjoying ourselves to the fullest. All right. Hope you didn't eat too much. All right. But it comes to a point where, when do you allow yourself to be you? All right. And when do you stop being the person that everybody thinks you should be? All right. When do you allow yourself to be you? And when do you stop being the person that everybody thinks you should be? People put stamps on you. They put weights on you. You should be this. You should be that. Why are you not like this person? Why are you not like that person? Well, I'm who I am because that's who I am. All right. And I'm not going to let anybody dictate to me who I am, how I react, who I speak to, who I talk to. Listen, you were made in the image of who you're supposed to be. All right. That's why you're unique. That's why you're an original. That's why there's nobody like you, because you're made in that way. All right. Your DNA is made up of your parents, your mother and your father. So your DNA is made that way. You're made that way. And I pray that this makes sense. All right. But I just feel it. And so we're going to talk on it as I feel it. Don't allow people to put you in a box to where you're just doing one thing. Also, man, listen, gotta be careful when you think people have your best interests at heart, and when you find out that they really didn't or they don't, and then it causes you to be disappointed and let down. Keep yourself in a safe space to where you learn how to deal with that situation. When you let your guard down, because we always talk about we can't be on all the time, but when you've let your guard down and somebody disappointed you, who you thought had your back, what do you do? Or do you give them the opportunity to do it again? By all means, not. All right, by all means, you don't give them the opportunity to do it again. Listen, you don't have to be indifferent. You don't have to treat them any different, but you don't give them the opportunity or the space to do it again. If you don't hear me say nothing else, man, you hear this. You don't get cats the opportunity to do the same thing they did before. You treat people the way you want to be treated. All right. But you don't give them the opportunity, all right, to do what they've done to you. So you got to make sure, man, that you understand that at some point you trust people, and everybody is not going to be beneficial for you. And we do that because we open ourselves up. We don't think nobody just throw us away or stab us in the back or not have our best interests at heart. But a lot of times we got to listen to what cats say. There's nothing like a messy man. I got to do that work. Brother at work, we talk, and we talk for hours, and we get into some deep conversations, talking about life. And, we talking about how we encouraging people. And the one thing I always say to him, I said, man, ain't nothing worse than a messy man. A messy man will keep stuff going. He'll mess up stuff. He'll make you not even want to fool with it. Because he'll say one thing. If he's saying this about somebody else in your presence, imagine what he's saying about you out of his presence. And when you're out of his presence, you got to understand you can't rock with everybody. You can love everybody. You can love them from a distance. You can pray for them. You can wish them the best, but that don't mean you got to rock with them. Let's be upfront and honest about it. Everybody's not for you. You got to take time to understand that everybody's not for you. Everybody's not going to be in your corner. Everybody's not going to want what's best for you. People are trying to see what you got going on, what you doing, how you talking, how you going to react, what you going to say. Are you really that way? Do you really believe in what you say? Are you really living that life? Are you two-faced? Are you double-minded? Well, the word says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. We try to be as stable as we possibly can be with the help of the Lord, all right? But I think, man, it's imperative, especially, man, when we're in relationships. You got to be grounded. You got to be stable. You got to be secure, all right? You can't fall for anything. You can't let somebody else get in your ear and put that mess in you, and now you all jacked up, and you don't know what's going on. You don't know why you having the issues you having. You don't know why you having the troubles you having. You don't know why people are reacting or acting the way they're acting to you. Is because you've allowed somebody else to get in your ear. Dude, I'm talking tonight. You've allowed somebody else to get in your ear, and they have now infected you. All right, they've infected you, and you got to make sure you get that infection out. All right, so a lot of times you're going to have to break away. Break the chain, break the cycle, come out of that relationship, because once you get infected, you're going to infect somebody else if you're not careful. All right, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to become infectious. You don't want to carry that seed around with you, man, where you just causing people harm or hurt. And you just, you're speaking ill. Nobody wants to be around you. Nobody wants to deal with you. And you don't want to live life that way. You don't want to be that way. Your conversation, we're going to talk about it. Sometimes it's best if you by yourself. It's okay to be by yourself. Hey, listen, ain't enough for me to get in here and get by myself, chill out and relax. And whether I've had a bad moment or the day didn't go like I thought it was going to go, come in, settle in, I regroup, I breathe, all right, and I let it go. Normally, I'm letting it go on the drive home. If it's something that bothered me, or if it's a thought I had to need to ponder on, if I need to meditate on it, God wants to talk to me about something, I try to let everything go from the day at work, because we spend more time at work than we do at home. So whatever's happened, I let it. I try to, breathe it out, blow it out, breathe it out, however you want to say it, on my ride home. Sometimes you need a moment just to sit and chill. Listen, I don't know about you, but I pulled up in my driveway and sat and just chilled out, whether I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm venting, or because I don't want to take it in the house. All right, that's making sure your home is good and secure and safe. I don't want to take that, what I've dealt with all day, I don't want to take that in the house and mess up the vibe of the house. We can do that, all right? We can easily do that. We don't understand it. And next thing you know, we snapping off, we get distant, we get quiet. We messed up the whole flow of the house. What's wrong? You don't want to do all that. Let it go. Come in, listen, here. Today was a day, all right, but I'm good. We're going to get in here. We're going to enjoy the rest of the evening. We're going to hang out, chill out, and we're going to get ready for the next day. All right. A lot of times you got to make sure, check in with yourself. I know we check in with other people, but a lot of times we got to check in with ourselves. We know our shortcomings. We know our pitfalls. We know all that stuff. All right. We know all that stuff. So a lot of times it's just making us the attempt and attempting to take care of those things. All right. Preventive maintenance. All right. We got to prevent things from happening because we need to take care of necessary things where we don't fall into those traps, those situations. Making sure that we're going to the doctors, and we're getting older. Those of us that are in our 40s and 50s, we need to make sure we get our checkups, get our blood work, all that stuff. Preventive maintenance. I always think about the time I had to get a colonoscopy, and I reached that age, and thank God I reached that age. I've never been on anesthesia. I've never been in a hospital, been hospitalized. Thank God I was there. I went, and everything was talked through. The nurses were good, and the lady that was signing us in, she said, let us pray. I said, oh, good. I know I'm in the right place now. We heard my wife and I, we prayed before we went in, and everything was wonderful. The nurses, the spirit was right. The atmosphere was great. The anesthesiologist was good. The doctor was great, and I was being myself. I was so comfortable. I felt so safe that I was able to be myself. Now, when you get back, then all you got on is that gown, and they roll you over. And I said, listen, y'all got all my business out in the street. All right. And they counted down, and that's the last thing I remember. But I felt in such a safe space that I could be myself. Man, listen, if you're not in a place where you can be yourself, and you gotta put on a facade, you gotta be on all the time, you need to check your surroundings, all right? You got to be in a place where you can be yourself, be who you are and not who everybody thinks you should be or everybody wants you to be, because then you're not living for you, you're living for someone else's approval, and that's not good. I don't live for man's approval, all right? I love my family. I go out each day. I make sure that I take care of them, and those are the opinions that matter to me the most. You can't look for approval from somebody who doesn't have your best interest at heart, who doesn't want you to be who you are, who doesn't allow you to be who you are, who has you put in a box and you can only be this way, or you should be this way. They think you should be this way. All right. So let's make sure, man, that we're doing those things. It's really like this. It's really like that. We got a lot of things that we deal with. I heard a young lady say, and she shared this, and it had so much power. And she said, and she was talking about women. She said, women don't understand that when a man goes out here he will literally lay his life on the line for the woman that he loves and the people that he loves. She said, we cannot understand that kind of responsibility. And it blessed me so, because I never heard a woman say that to other women, that she understood the psyche of a man who has loved ones and family members and spouses and children and significant others. First of all, you walking out that door and we don't know if we ever coming back again. I don't know if it's me, maybe it's I don't just me, but have certain thoughts. What if this happens? I gotta protect my people. What if that happens? I gotta make sure they're good. These are the things that we as men do, and I know a couple of partners, we talk about those things and we get together, man, and a lot of time we have the same thoughts and the same mindsets concerning things, and we feel better once we talk about it. We feel better once we get it off our chest, all right? Because a lot of times you don't know people are thinking the same way you thinking, man, and you just got to open up and talk about it. But you got to be in a safe space to talk about it. I love the life that I live, all right? I may not have everything that I want, but I got everything that I need, all right? And thank God he supplies all my needs, all right? So I thank God for that. But, man, let's be intentional, all right, and being better. Let's be intentional and understanding who we are. Let's be intentional and making sure that we're doing the best we can to be the best version of who we are and not who somebody else thinks we should be. I don't know why that's in me. That's just in me, man. I've been thinking about that thing for the last couple of days. Make sure that you're being intentional. Be thankful for who you are. Be thankful that you are the way that you are. All right, that God made you this way. I know it's Thanksgiving, man. I know we're being thankful, and at this time we might be talking another way. This is what I was led to do, talk about. This is what was on my heart to talk about. I'm appreciative and thankful for every single thing that I've been blessed with, every relationship I've found or been in, I've been able to foster. I was having a conversation with a brother, and I said, listen, man, for me, it's all about fostering relationships. I said, that's what it is for me, is fostering relationships. All right, because you never know the impact that you make on people years down the road, and you may have completely forgotten about it. Mama said to us is to treat people the way you want to be treated. I do my best to foster those relationships because, for one, that's who I am. For two, you never know what people need. Just a kind word, just a quick hello, just a good laugh, and to move on. And you never know what it does for them. All right? You never know what somebody's going through, what their day may be like, what their night was like, what they're dealing with. I got some cats who I talk to, and I check up on, and I ask them, they got situation. I ask them, how's that situation going? How's this situation going? And then it's you can see where it's good for them to just release it because nobody really asked them, checked on them. So it's good to check on guys, man. Dudes appreciate that. I know somebody checks on me, I appreciate it. But it's just knowing what somebody's going through. And you ain't trying to be nosy. You ain't trying to get all in there. Hey man, you good? How's the situation? Everything straight? You call if you need to. We can talk, whatever. And a lot of times cats just need to get things off their chest and know that somebody else cares, man. That another brother cares and looking out for them. And that's all they really want to know, man. That's all they really want to know. So we got to make sure that we checking on each other, that we're there for each other. I said, man, real men, real conversations. And we're going to get these results, man. We're going to make sure that we're being healthy and that we're better for it. And we can tell somebody else, hey, man, I went through this. This is what happened with me. Somebody was there for me. Somebody threw me a lifeline. Somebody encouraged me, was there, spent some time with me, sat down and listened, just hung out with me, just, didn't want to be all in my business, just gave me an encouraging word. That was a lot for me, And so cats want to know that. They want to understand. They want to make sure that somebody's there. And when you've made a difference in somebody's life. Because when somebody's made a difference in your life. All right? When somebody has made a difference in your life for the better. All right? There's no, they don't want nothing from you. They just want you to be better. And that's what we do. That's what we say. We want to make sure that we're being there for each other and that we're better for it. That everybody's eating. I put it like that. Everybody's eating. Everybody's getting something from the conversations. Everybody's getting something from the relationships. You're getting good good feedback. You're getting good vibes. All right. You know when you get around certain people, you're in a safe space. You know you can be yourself. You don't have to be who everybody thinks you should be. You can let your guard down. You don't have to be on all the time. And I know we always talk about being on all the time, but that literally is something that weighs on a lot of dudes, man, being on all the time. And you never get to see what goes on behind the scenes, man. You sit down and start talking to people and hear about the pressures that they're under and the stress and the strain, and they're worried about this and worried about that. And you got to pray for them. And, just sometimes it just takes a listening ear. You ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got no answers. You just listening. All right, you got to listen ear. You want to be there for them. All right. You want to make sure that you're making yourself available for them. All right. That's what we do. But listen, just want to come on, man. Talk for a quick minute. Real conversation tonight. Wasn't all, about relationships and all that, just some things that was on my heart, on my mind, and my spirit, man. Because a lot of times we get frustrated, man, and we got to get this thing out. It's one thing to be disappointed, but it's another thing to be disappointed. Get over that situation. Wash your hands of it, because you never know what's around the corner. Don't get so stuck on a situation. You can't look past that situation and see that it's better for you. All right. So we got to make sure, man, that we keep our minds open. All right. Keep our minds open. All right. Stay prayerful, stay prayed up. Make sure that we are continuing to put good people around us, continuing to put out good energy, continue to put out good conversation. Laugh, man. Laugh, enjoy life. All right. Don't get stuck in no mundane situation, the same old rut. It's easy. We can get stuck in the same old everyday thing. Every day, we're doing the same thing every day, same thing every day. And we get in a routine of doing that, and we forget to enjoy ourselves. Talking to a brother, man, he said, listen, he's like a contractor that had come out of the house, and we were just talking. I was asking him how did he get into what he was doing. And when I got in the military, I didn't want to work for anybody. He said, I didn't want to work for anybody, so I started my business. He started from nothing. Now he has a team, and he's enjoying himself. And we were just talking, and it blessed me because he's a younger guy. He's adopted children. His wife, they had a blended family. Then they adopted children, and they ended up having a set of twins. I was like, yo, it was just good to hear someone appreciated the life they've been given. I was just out helping people, just helping people. This is Thanksgiving this time, and loved ones that have gone on and passed away. It comes new all over again. So we want to send a shout out and prayer to my cousin Darren, man, who has been with us since day one. He lost his wife earlier this year. So Darren, man, when you see this, man, big shout out to you, man, praying for you and your family. All right. I pray that you get through this holiday season and God strengthens you. All right. Listen, brother drives 2 hours every session, and he's there, faithful, man. And I appreciate him for that. Send our love and support to him and his family. Enjoy your holiday. All right. I hope you didn't eat too much. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the peace and quiet. Well, if you got some peace and quiet, I'm pretty sure if you're with family, if you like me and mine, we cutting up. We didn't get home this year. We enjoyed our Thanksgiving. We're going to enjoy the holiday. We're going to laugh. We're going to cut up. We're going to sit back and relax. Make sure that we're being beneficial in the lives of each other. Real men, real conversation, man. Until the next time. All right. Hope everybody had a great holiday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you soon. I will be coming at you again. Real men, real conversation. We getting real results. Stay up. We'll holler at you.